Good morning. My name is Joseph Paul. Um, I was born in the year 1995 on July 15th. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about some of the important events and some of the happenings of that year. But first, let me introduce my audience here. Um, we have my brother Leo, my sister Maria, and then my two doggies, Belle and Misha. Thank you guys for listening. Alright, so we're going to start with the cost of living in 1995. The U.S. yearly inflation rate stood at 2.81% for that year. The average cost of a new house was around $113,000, which is lower than it is nowadays. The average American income per year lied around somewhere around $35,900, which is lower than the current U.S. Income per year, but a higher differential. The cost of a gallon of gas in 1995 was $1.09. The average cost of a new car stood somewhere around $15,500, which is still pretty pricey. And then a postage stamp was around 32 cents. And then just to give you some background knowledge on how much some of the maybe regular household goods that you would see in a regular household in 1995, a loaf of bread was around $2.02. A pound of coffee, ground coffee, would be around $4.07, and then a dozen eggs around 87 cents. So take that how you will. Some of the important events that really stood out out of the year 1995. The Oklahoma City Unibombers. The Unibombing happened on April 19th, 1995. The Oklahoma City bombing was a domestic terrorist bomb attack in downtown Oklahoma. The two bombers rigged a rental truck full of explosives and parked it on the street and blew it up. The bombing killed over 168 people, injured more than 680 people, and the blast destroyed over 250 buildings, and it affected over a 16 block radius from the blast zone. So it was a very large bomb. Both bombers, Timothy McVeigh and Timothy Nichols, were arrested shortly after the bombing. Both were tried and convicted. McVeigh was executed through lethal injection in 2001, and his partner Nichols is currently serving life in prison. Also during this year, in 1995, the O.J. Simpson murder trial came to a conclusion with a not guilty verdict. He was found innocent in the double murder trial dubbed the case of the decade. Some other keystone events of 1995 were the U.S. cut military operations in Somalia, a place that we had been operating in since the early 90s. U.S. and Iran relations heat up, and the U.S. imposed economic sanctions on Iran in 1995. Also, some key environmental events that happened in the year. A magnitude 7.3 earthquake hit Kobe, Japan, killing over 6,000 people. Also, Russia was devastated by a class 7.6 magnitude earthquake, which killed over 2,000 people. Also, in the U.S. during this time, an incredible heat wave paralyzed the Midwestern U.S. Actually, during my actual birthday, temperatures hit 104 for 5 days straight, and it killed up to 3,000 people. Just a quick little bit right here on some of the technology and some of the prices that you maybe would have seen in 1995. Windows 95 was released by Microsoft that year. The first JavaScript was introduced and deployed, and the U.S. space station coordinated a shuttle dock with a Russian space station, which is one of the first times that the two cooperated. And then also DVD first were released, and the optical disc format is revealed for the first time. So that's some of the facts and some of the key events that happened in 1995. It's a wonderful year, and it was a very important year in U.S. history and in my life. Thank you.